Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Expert here at Health Plug Conversations. My name is Dr. Vanessa Gray, and I'm your host. It's exciting, all insightful, and you're definitely going to leave here with much knowledge than you totally decided to come with. I'm very pumped up because I know that today is going to be exceptional for you. Yes, for you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Ask the Expect again. You are joining us live here at YouTube at Health Plug Conversations. You want to join me, share the link, invite a friend, share the link on all your social media pages from WhatsApp to Facebook to LinkedIn and Instagram. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's time to get our health plugged into the right space. And I'm excited once again to have you. And you're always wondering, why are we having today's conversations? It's because of you. Yes, because of you. A couple of months ago, I remember having a conversation with the Health Plug group. If you are not there, feel free to send a comment and I'll share the link with you so that you don't miss out. We're talking about precursor and its effect when it comes to our first trimester in pregnancy, how it can cause abortion, and most people didn't even know about it. After the session, I decided to make a LinkedIn post about it, and I saw from the post that a lot of people shared the importance of having more education about the things we can eat when we are pregnant and the things we should not eat. And that's why we are having these conversations today to help you and help me and help every expectant mother out there know the right food to eat, the right foods to avoid, and what to do to ensure that our babies that are born are healthy, as well as our mothers who are giving birth are equally more healthy. So, you're in for a blast today, and I'm totally excited about today's conversation. And, like you know, I'm all in with one of the best people for you today. She's an amazing person. And when I reached out to her, she was all in support for our conversation today. She's a food scientist by profession and an assistant research scientist at CSI Stepbury. She's currently a doctoral researcher. Ooh, go her. A lot of education, guys. And she's specializing in food safety, in nutrition, and doing her research actually in ways to reduce aflatoxins in staple foods that we find in Ghana here, like the groundnut amongst the others. She's bringing a decade, in fact, over a decade of experience. So you know that she's definitely going to be the right woman for the job. And she's going to teach us how exactly to ensure that every meal that we are eating, every food that we are going to take in is nutritious enough, because that's what she's passionate about, promoting healthier diets amongst people. So without much ado, help me, my audience, welcome our most amazing guest speaker for today, Miss Sylvia. Miss Sylvia, you're welcome to today's session. We're so happy to have you. You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vanessa, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you to the Health Plug Network for inviting me. Good afternoon to you all joining us online. It's such a great pleasure to be here today. All right, so in the next few minutes, just as I've been introduced by Dr. Vanessa, I'm going to touch on what pregnancy cravings are, how they come about, and then their impact on our health. So we are going to just dive in right away. I'm going to begin by sharing a story. I had one of my male friends calling me in a panic, and then he was just sharing the news about how his pregnant wife had been diagnosed of having gestational diabetes. And you can imagine how that came about. And that was basically because his wife was constantly craving for soda or soft drinks. You know the soft drinks we have in Ghana. I'm not going to mention them. She would just always be hassling him. Oh, when you are returning from work, please buy me this drink. And when he doesn't, it will turn into another fight. So that was the end product. And he wanted me to give him some ideas as to how to go about things, apart from the advice and him being directed to a dietitian to assist his wife get back on track. I gave him what I also could. And then with his support as a husband, he also stepped in and ensured that he was helping her make very healthy nutritional choices. And she got better now. She's been able to deliver a very, very bouncy baby boy. They even have a second daughter. So we can
Oh,
all see how important what you eat affects your health, and even how it will also affect your child. That's the or the developing fetus in you. So that brings us to the pregnancy cravings. They are absolutely normal. Pregnancy cravings are normal, just as we normal human beings, or even as a woman of reproductive age, anyone, you can one day just get up and feel like, oh, I want to eat this specific kind of food. I want to eat a bowl of bankum and okra soup, and nothing is going to stop you from getting it. You are just going to prepare it and then have a very nice meal and enjoy. Or maybe you feel for some sugary, spicy, you know, food somewhere. Nothing is going to stop you from consuming that yet. So pregnancy cravings are normal. They're absolutely normal. But then it all depends on how you handle it, how you handle your cravings, so that you end up making very healthy choices, and you ensure that you remain healthy as a mother, and you also protect your child from getting any form of um, negativity, if you would say that. Yeah, so pregnancy cravings, there are a lot of courses, or I would say theories. None of them have actually been we don't have a specific cause for it per se, but there are different, I'll say there are different theories. So when you are pregnant, your hormones are heightened. Your hormones are really heightened. You have your progesterone and your estrogens really, really getting high. And so they tend to increase your senses of smell and then taste. So for instance, certain foods that you normally not consume, you are then attracted to go in for such foods. And then sometimes foods that you may not you may not you will like, or foods that you normally eat, you end up not liking them anymore. Okay, so that's why some people would get up and want to say that, oh, I want to eat bush meat. Meanwhile, on a normal day, they wouldn't want to take such foods. Yes, it's because of heightened hormones, especially your estrogen and progesterone. Also, they are caused by your nutritional um, deficiency. In case you have any nutritional deficiency, especially related to your minerals and vitamins, for instance, even when you tend to start craving for non-food items such as clay, they have been implicated to mean that you are having low iron levels in your body. And so you have to quickly seek help from your healthcare professional. You go to the hospital, you get tested, and then they verify whether your iron levels are low. So they do the supplementation for you, or give you the needed nutritional advice, so that you know what to do. Okay, when you are craving for non-food items, is very common among a lot of pregnant women in our part of the world. In Ghana, a lot of pregnant women will start craving for clay, ajelo. Some even end up scraping the walls of their rooms to eat. Is that bad? They start scraping, eating their walls. They will go and dig the ground to get clay or sand and just consume like that. When you do that, it's not going to be helpful. And also, we have your physiological changes. As you are pregnant now, you are not just eating for yourself, you are eating for two people. You are eating for you and then your growing baby inside you. And so you tend to eat more. Your body needs more nutrients to be able to support your nutritional needs and that of your growing baby. So then it's natural that you have to eat more. But then the fact that you have to eat more doesn't mean you should just eat anything that comes into your mind. You have to consider that whatever you eat is a very healthy food that you are eating. You don't just eat anything. The fact that you are also supposed to be eating for two people doesn't mean that, oh, I have to eat as so much for a plate. I have to fill it to the brim and then eat and eat and eat. And then meanwhile, you are sitting at one place. You don't exercise to shed off some of the uh, calories that you are taking in. Also, cultural aspects. We have that in Ghana here. We are exposed to certain foods. So, okay, in Ghana, I'm craving for some fufu and abenkwai. I'm craving for clay. I'm craving for something salty, something savory. But then, if, for instance, someone who is outside the country, outside Ghana, in America somewhere, they are not exposed to, for instance, clay, or they are not exposed, they are not used to eating fufu, and so they would rather crave for something. Maybe they want to eat chocolates, they want to eat ice cream. If you should go to a rural area, you shouldn't necessarily expect that someone will be craving for chocolate. So whatever you crave for depends on your culture, your geographic location, wherever you find yourself. And finally, also cravings can come from your emotions or psychology. When you are stressed out, some people tend to overeat to compensate for whatever they are experiencing. When they are stressed out, when they are sad, when your hormones start flying all over, you tend to be susceptible to eating what you are not supposed to be eating. So these are some of the causes of pregnancy cravings. Now, so to the common pregnancy cravings, we have those that are healthy. We tend to crave for healthy options. We also have those that we tend to just indulge in for the sake of indulging. Oh, I want to. But for those ones, you have to always note that it's not necessarily bad if you crave for such foods, but then always moderation must be at the back of your mind. You take it in moderation. Once a while is not going to hurt you. Yes. And then there are the other ones that are risky. When you take them, you know that you're hurting yourself as a mother or mother to be, and you're hurting yourself, the baby that is forming in you. Okay, so for the healthy, common pregnancy cravings, we have foods. Some women tend to eat a lot of foods when they are pregnant, and these pregnancy cravings. Some are a lot of pregnant women experience it in their first trimester, and others for their first and second trimesters. For some, the cravings last throughout their pregnancy. Okay, it lasts throughout their pregnancy. And for some, they don't even experience any form of cravings at all. And it is also absolutely normal. It's absolutely normal. If you don't crave for anything, it doesn't mean that, oh, there's something wrong with you. It's normal. So for fruits, mostly the ones they crave for are the sour ones. So like the oranges, the apple. You tend to see a lot of mangoes especially. A lot of pregnant women tend to eat those ones. And also for other foods that are we can describe as salty, foods that we can describe as sweet. Yes, they tend to a lot of pregnant women tend to opt for those ones. Some, like I was saying, some people is very, very unhealthy. They will want to take in the uh, fizzy drinks. I'll put them under fizzy drinks. Any kind of fizzy drink that they lay their hands on, they are going to drink. Whether it's going to be a fruit drink, fruit juice, those that they make themselves, or the ones they buy in a pack, they are just going to go them down. And you must always know that you have to do all of this consumption in moderation. And some too opt for salty foods. They like to eat a lot of salty food. So some they will opt for the plantain chips, the Pringles. Yes, some do crave for that. And some also crave for fast food, pizza. I have a friend who will always tell you that she can tell you where a particular pizza is coming from. So she knows pizza, how it tastes. And she, whenever she's pregnant, all she would be craving for is pizza, any form of pizza with Coke.
Wow.
So she knows pizza, yes. So she can actually taste, oh, okay, when she says, I know this one is coming from Usu, Frankie's, it's coming from here, it's coming from. So you can imagine how much pizza she consumes. So she just eats pizza. Some will opt for the chips, the Chinese sandwiches, burgers. Now they are all over. So they will go in for that. And ice. A lot of women tend to eat ice just to calm down. I don't know. They'll, to just to calm down, they'll take in a lot of ice cubes or anything that is chilled. Others will crave for chocolate. Some too would would go in for the meat. Some eat a lot of meat, a lot of meat. But when you are pregnant, you should be very careful about the type of meat, not the red meat. You always opt for lean meat. The lean meat being chicken because it is white meat. So your chicken, you opt for that. Or if not chicken, rabbit meat is also very healthy. Rabbit meat is very healthy, but the rabbit meat is not so common. So the one that is common, you go in for that chicken. Okay, even if you have to take the red meat, you do so in moderation. You do so in moderation. So that would be for those that you indulge in. Yeah, and then spicy foods a lot. They, because of the changes in the hormones, some women can eat a lot of pepper. A lot of they want to eat a lot of pepper and just to take out that nauseous feelings they have, especially those that experience the morning sickness. They like to eat a lot of pepper so that it will reduce the morning sickness. Yeah. And so, just as we've gone through those that are safe, at least when you take them in moderation, those that are risky, that you should by all means avoid, is the clay. Clay is very serious. There are a lot of pregnant women who binge on different forms of clay. When you go to Nigeria, they have the inzu. That one has a lot of salt added to it. And then they consume it in large quantities. And that one, the inzu and even ayelo in Ghana, they also have the calabar. When you go to Cameroon, calabar clay, echo. In fact, as for the different types of clay, they are all over. And these pregnant women tend to binge on them. These clays can cause constipation to you, the pregnant woman. They also cause anemia. They cause anemia. So when you, the mother, you are anemic, how do you then get to transport oxygen in your blood to ensure that it's also enriching your baby, your growing fetus? Okay, so in order to avoid that, just stay away. Don't even go near, no matter how high your craving is, don't even go near anything that is clay. Stay away from clay. Some women too tend to like the smell of petrol. Some will also chew so much ice cubes, drink so much of anything that is chilled. Some people even like the smell of metal. They want to just smell that. I don't know how that one works, but yeah, they like that. And then soap as well, the smell of soap, and it's very warming. You should do all. Some even go to the extent, this is very extreme. They like to consume excreta.
Oh my
It's
god.
been documented. Yes, some women would take that. And I it's very, you should stay away from all that, because fecal coliforms, you don't want to deal with E. coli, Escherichia coli. No, 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 no. You have the cravings, but then you should really, really, really ensure that you make, by all means, make sure you make that conscious decision that I'm going to eat only healthy food, only healthy food. Fruits, you stick to the fruits, stick to your vegetables. Even if you are craving for anything sweet, you opt for the healthier option. So if you feel like eating something sweet, we have dates. The dates are all over around. You try and buy some, keep nearby, keep in your small bag around, and then you take a bite. Even the dates, they are also going to provide you some form of iron. So you consume the dates rather than you going in for the fizzy drinks. That helps a lot. Or you take in banana, or you take in your mangoes. Is the best if you are feeling for anything sweet. Okay. So let's work on that. So these are some photos of some of the foods that pregnant women consume. So we can see on our top left the plantain chips, which are usually salted, sprinkled with some salt for taste. That is good. You can take that in moderation. You don't have to abuse that. We have the mangoes. Mangoes are very healthy, very, and I recommend them to any pregnant woman. You can have all the nutritional benefits you get. And then we have also the spicy foods, or the peppery foods that they consume. Some to opt for the juices, the drinks. These juices that are made from various fruits, different types of fruits we have, from oranges, pineapples, apples. These are all very, very healthy options. And we can also see the clay. We have ilo on top. Those are the molded clays, the oval shaped or egg shaped clays that have been molded. You have that in your on the top left, and then in the middle you have the boiled eggs. Yes. Whenever you have to eat egg, you know that egg contains your complete protein, and so is recommended. But ensure that the egg you are consuming is well cooked. It's well cooked. Don't take in anything that is fresh. You don't consume fresh or raw egg. Okay. And then we have chocolates. That one you can also take the chocolate. It's sweet. You can take it in moderation. Below, down on your left, extreme left, is the inzu I was talking about. That's the one that is salted. When you go to Nigeria, a lot of the pregnant women tend to consume this type of clay, and it's not good at all. You are going to get anemia. Your blood levels are going to drastically reduce. You can collapse, and it's even getting oxygen to be transported in your blood will be compromised, and you have to stay away from that. We have the ice cream also over there. Once it's chilled, once it's cold, yes, then you want to just have a taste of it. We also have the scrambled eggs on your right below there. So this is just an overview of some of the foods that pregnant women take. All right. So now, what you eat as a pregnant woman has a lot of effect on you, and then not just you, the baby you are carrying. So when you tend to eat so much foods that are sugary, or you have high you consume foods that are of high sugary content, the mother, you are going to get overweight with time. You are going to put on so much weight, and that is not healthy. You have to make sure that, fine, yes, you have to add on some amount of weight, but it should be healthy weight so that it can support the baby that is forming in you. But when you tend to get so big and get into dangerous levels of obesity, that is, you are even after you give birth, you have to struggle to lose all of that weight, and it's going to predispose you to all forms of chronic diseases. Yes, we also have the gestational diabetes, like I mentioned, from my male friend's wife, who was binging on all these sweets, the drinks, and then eventually she got diagnosed of having the gestational diabetes. So once you are diagnosed of having these gestational diabetes, it's going to predispose you to getting diabetes even after you give birth. So it's going to be a problem. Prevention is always better than cure. Once you are able to stay disciplined and watch your food choices, it goes a long way to help you from treating and spending money on drugs that you can channel into doing something else. We also have the eclampsia, pre-eclampsia, high blood pressure, They are all results of you having, if you consume too much of the sugary foods, and that is also not going to be very good for you as a pregnant woman. Okay, so for other when you don't eat very healthy, it tends to also affect, for instance, if you are not taking in enough water. Normally you are supposed to take in about 3 to 4 liters of water a day. And so that is very ideal for you as a pregnant woman. So once you feel that now you don't feel like I don't want to, you have some form of aversion for water, you don't take in enough water. That's what your body uses to produce the amniotic fluid that protects your baby in your womb. Okay. So once you stay hydrated, once you are drinking enough water, that's how your baby is going to thrive in your womb. That's how your baby is going to thrive. And so that's very, very important. Okay. It's very, very important. You also reduce the amount of salt that you consume. A lot of people in Ghana here, you go to the restaurant or you go to a chop bar, you see there's salt on the table. Okay, so once you taste the soup or the stew, whatever food it is that you have to consume, even for the potato chips or the yam chips that you prepare, you just sprinkle some on it and then you start to eat. No, that is not advisable. Whatever food you consume or you prepare, you just ensure that you add adequate amount of salt in it. You don't over consume salt. For that, you know the cost, the end results. You are going to predispose yourself to a lot of cardiovascular diseases, even high blood pressure, which will not be very, very helpful to you. So you have to make sure that you are always on top of your game. You don't lose guard. You are always on top of your game. So for pregnancy cravings, they can be entirely managed. They can be entirely managed, and it depends on the choices you make. You stay disciplined. It is discipline, 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 discipline all the time. So for your cravings, you must always eat a balanced diet. A balanced diet. Okay. In your balanced diet, if you eat well, that's where you are going to get your folates. Okay. Your folates. And this folate is what is needed to prevent neural tube defects in your child. So if you want a very healthy baby, you make sure that you are consuming enough of your green leafy vegetables, your contomere, your beans, your legumes, you are consuming all of that. You are taking in your fruits, your oranges, enough of them is very, very important. Calcium, you make sure that the food you eat has enough of milk, you consume um milk, your bones, your fish, to ensure that your baby has very strong bones. You ensure your baby has very strong bones in a day. You know that you need at least 1,000 milligrams of calcium in your system. So whenever you are eating, you ensure that you have all of that in your food. All right. And then you make sure that your food is also very protein dense. It is protein dense. You eat your lean meat, you avoid so much of the red meat. You eat your legumes, your grains, your whole grains. If you have to opt for bread, you opt for the wheat bread. You opt for wheat bread. You don't just go for the sugar bread, the brown bread, the butter bread. Yeah, the butter bread. But you can always opt for wheat bread, your oats. You are consuming all of that. It's very, very, very important that you have those in your food. So balance is always key. Your folic acid, sometimes you have to take in your supplements. Not that just any kind of supplement that you feel like taking, those that are prescribed by your doctor. Okay. When you go and see your doctor, whatever prescribed for you, you take them, especially folic acid. Even as a woman of reproductive age, you're supposed to take folic acid from time to time to prepare your system for childbirth. Once you are pregnant too, you make sure you take these supplements to prevent these neural tube defects. You make sure you stay hydrated. I'll sound this again. At least you take 3 to 4 liters of water a day. It will take a lot of conscious effort for you to do that. But then once you do that, it's just going to boost your energy levels. It will surprise you. It works. So in Ghana, usually we take the sachets. So the pure water sachet, if you take at least 6 of them in a day, you are good to go. You are good to go. You take them, not that you have to by all means take so much at a go, but you sip them from in bits. You sip them in bits from time to time. That also helps. Okay, then you also need support from everyone around you, like my friend's husband who took in the who took the necessary steps to make sure that always there's food available at home. He will cut the oranges that need to be cut and kept in the fridge, so that whenever his wife opens the fridge, she will find oranges there to take, watermelon to consume, and all that. Even we as individuals, you who is joining us online, you should also be an ambassador. Okay, an ambassador. So whenever you have your wife as a man or your family member, your friend who is pregnant, you always keep on drumming it in their heads to always keep on going in for healthy foods, even if they have to go in for other options. It's just in moderation, once in a while, once in a while. Okay, that really helps. And you also seek help. You always seek advice. You always seek advice from a qualified medical doctor or healthcare practitioner whenever you realize that there's something not right with you. When you start craving for things you are not supposed to be craving for. You see charcoal and then you want to consume it. You see clay, sand, you want to consume it. Or you yourself, you don't feel like eating. The whole day you can go without eating anything. You don't drink water. That is not normal. So you immediately have to seek medical attention when you feel off, when you feel that you're having any challenges, immediately seek medical assistance. Yeah, so that would be it for how you can go about um, it. So, in a nutshell, what I'm going to say is that as a pregnant mother, discipline is very key. Discipline is very key. Whatever you tell yourself that you are going to do, eventually do it. It's only that sometimes the bad you don't want to do, that's what you easily do. But then once you tell yourself that, hey, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to put in the measures to eat healthy, you are surely going to do that. And so it's a challenge to you to be a responsible mother, to be a responsible human being to yourself and to the baby that's growing in you, and even to your loved ones, your husband, those around you. You don't want to burden them with any complications. So you make sure that you do what you have to do for your 9 months and even make it a lifestyle. A lifestyle, not that you are going to hold yourself from eating all the junk or all the bad foods, and then once you deliver, you just go back right into your bad habits or your eating habits. No, you make it a lifetime commitment that you are going to be a good steward of your own body. You are going to eat right, and you're also going to take very good care of the baby developing in you, and even after you give birth. Yes, because even you're going to be producing breast milk. So whatever you eat after you give birth is still going to affect your the baby that you give birth to. And even throughout their lives, whatever you eat as a mother is going to translate to what you give to your baby. And they are going to grow suffering the effects of whatever you feed them. So let's all try to be very disciplined in all that we do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to take your questions to make this discussion very interactive. So over to you, Dr. Vanessa.
Thank you so much. Wow, this I'm just mind blown. Like this session has really been insightful. I've really learned so much. And I had so many
Okay.
questions, but as we were going through the presentation, it looked like my questions were being answered. So I'm like, oh my god, she's like superwoman. She just thought of my question and then she's answered me. But like this is
Okay.
wow. And any viewer that is listening to us today, just let's just celebrate Miss Sylvia with some hearts and then with some celebration. Like this has been mind blowing. This like top level, international level conversation, and I'm so grateful to have learned this. As you were talking, I just kept nodding, and I was trying to connect my experiences together. I remember this one time when I was in ONG, and the midwife was pregnant then. Then she asked me that I should get her some water. So I just went to the doctor's room, grabbed some lukewarm water, and then brought it to her. And she was like, "No, she doesn't want this lukewarm water. She doesn't want this lukewarm water. She wants chilled water." And I was like, "It's still water. Water is water." She was like, "Ah, she wants chilled water." And I was like, "Why does she want chilled water?" She told me that many so. And I was just laughing. Because these are just some of the cravings that come with being pregnant. And it was just so funny because a couple of months ago, she wouldn't have minded. But here is she, pregnant, and now my lukewarm water has gotten me into trouble. Oh. She's telling me, make me have it. So.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Miss Sylvia. This has really been insightful. And I'm sure every expectant mother or pregnant woman listening to us today definitely is going to make that change and be more disciplined. Right. So for today, we had some questions. You've answered most of them, but still a couple of them we want to raise ahead of a closure of tonight's meeting. And the first question that we had was this, that the person says that she's heard that taking pineapples and pawpaw can cause miscarriages. And we've heard you say over and over again, we should eat healthy. Fruits are the healthier choice or versions of cravings. So how do we address this person who really, let's say, wants to eat pineapple, wants to eat pawpaw, but is facing this myth or truth that it can cause a miscarriage? What do you have to say to this?
Okay, so eating, like I said in my presentation earlier on, eating foods is very, very okay. You can go in for whichever foods you want to. Once it is ripe, once it is in a very good condition, is not getting spoiled, you can go in for that. But then you do that in moderation. So for the pineapple, for the pawpaw, absolutely you can go in for them. The only problem has to do with eating unripe pawpaw. Those contain some latex and they can cause some contractions for you. Okay. So apart from that, once it's ripe, once it's in a good condition, you can absolutely enjoy it. Enjoy it. But then you make sure it's in moderation and that will be fine. Yeah. So
Learning. Wow, I didn't know pawpaw unripened actually contained latex. So wow, that's really
yes, yes.
huge to me. Wow. The second question that we have is something that I commonly see in the consulting room, especially in the first trimester. For those of us who don't know what the first trimester is the very first 3 months of your pregnancy journey. And most women find it difficult acclimatizing or adapting to the changes. They come to the consulting room telling me that they are not able to hold down food. They are always vomiting everything that they are eating. They don't feel for food. And the food they wish they used to like at the moment, they hate it. I've even heard people that have said that they can't cook and eat themselves because their own food is a disgust to them. But yet still
Yeah.
we want them to stay healthy. We want them to eat right. What advice do you have for them? What do you have to say to someone who's struggling with this particular situation?
Okay. So these aversions being that you tend to throw up whatever you eat or certain foods that you liked, all of a sudden you don't like them anymore. Okay, come up as a result of your heightened hormones, progesterone, and then the estrogens flying all over. Okay, so for this, you can eat in bits. You don't have to necessarily eat a full plate. You can scoop something small and then be taking them in bits, be taking small bites of your food. You can also add some amounts of ginger to the food that you eat. Ginger helps to remove that nausea you feel whenever you eat any form of food. So adding a little bit of ginger to your food is very helpful. Some women will opt for very, very, very spicy food to also help them overcome this. All right. So basically, once you realize that you can eat, you can do all these, taking, sipping small amounts of water. That goes in a lot. So by all means, you have to make a conscious effort to eat. You can't say you're not going to, because you are not alone. Otherwise, you're going to also be starving the growing fetus in you. So by just in Ghana, they'll say that means you will know. Yeah, will say we did it. Just forget about how you're feeling. It's a be taking in small bits, eating in bits. Okay, so you eat in bits, little by little. You sip in some water, and then you'll be able to go through this, especially within the first trimester, the first 3 months, you're able to go through that. Yeah.
Amazing. So remember, guys, eat in bits. You don't have to gulp the food down all the while. I keep telling them that
That,
even if you can take maybe 2 sips at a time, relax. After some time, you go back. Instead of gulping everything down and then throwing everything out and the
not,
uncomfortability that it comes with it. So you heard from the
yeah.
expert. She says, eat in bits.
Doing
Amazing. Thank you so much,
that.
Miss Sylvia. We have another question again. This is from a mother who just delivered, and she's asking that what foods can she eat to help her breast milk production after delivery. So she's put to bed. Her breast milk is not really coming. She wants to know if there are any foods she can take to help the breast milk production. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vanessa, for that. Scientifically, we call such foods lactogogues or galactogogues. They help
Ooh.
with the breast milk production. Yes, lactogogues or galactogogues. So today you've learned one scientific term. You that is watching online, you can go and spread the word. So they come in different forms. We have those that are in herbs or vegetable forms, and then we have those that usually you take when it's very, very hot, and then we have the groundnut based ones. Okay, so I'm sure most of you have heard about the roasted groundnuts and roasted maize. Is a lot of it's when you take it, it can boost breast milk production. Okay, so that's for the groundnut base. We have roasted groundnuts and then roasted maize together. You chew that. We also have the mashed kinky with groundnut. When you consume that, it also helps in that we have the groundnut soup, we have the we say rare quine, rare soup. I don't know, rare quine or rare soup is also another. That one is very local. When you go to the market, you can find it around. The rare soup is very close to. I'll say it is the cousin of groundnut soup, is the cousin of granule soup. It also is very, very excellent for breast milk production. So that's for the granule based one. So a lot of granules in your food really helps. For the herbs or the vegetables, you go to the market, the green leafy vegetables in all forms, the cocoyam leaves, contumely, anything that has contumely in it, very, very healthy in breast milk production and very, very helpful for you. Okay, so the alefun, that one, when you go to the market, you get those leaves as well. They are very helpful. And when you eat, boost your breast milk production. And there are some too, lots of porridges that when you consume or you very hot, it's also believed to produce a lot. We have the millet porridge or the corn porridge. They all, when you consume them, they are known to uh, help with breast milk production. Eating a lot of foods, is foods, it's also helpful. So these are some of the foods that can boost breast milk production. But the common ones, mashke, and then with a lot of granules is very helpful. And all the soups, especially the granule soup, the rare soup, are also very good. Ayoyo leaves, all the leaves you can think of, they're all healthy. You can take them. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, mentioning a lot of things. I'm sure if my grandmother was here, she'd be like, "This lady, huge thumbs up.
Yeah.
This lady, huge thumbs up."
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the
Yeah.
Gen
Yeah.
Z, but it looks like we are going back to our roots. Sankofa.
Yes. Yeah,
Us.
but then the common one is mashke or the roasted granules and the roasted maize together. They are very helpful. So for the Gen Zs, if you have to do extra work when you go to the markets, you go for ayoyo, alefu leaves, and mix them up. Yeah.
Thank you for that for Gen Zs. At least you said some for us, so we are happy about that. So we take our last question for tonight. And if by any chance you have a question during the session, feel free to put it in the comment section. We'll have our expect answer, and then we'll bring you back the answers at the comfort of your home. So our very last question. This question I could not let go because I found it intriguing, and I think that from the story you shared from the beginning, you'll probably be able to help the person. So this is the question. The person says that my wife has PUD. So for those of us who do not know PUD, PUD is peptic ulcer disease. And if you're on our health blog page, you probably would have learned along with us when we had that session. And he says that his wife has unhealthy spicy cravings. I'm sure it has to do with when she wants to avoid vomiting, so she has to eat a lot of spicy cravings. He's asking for a practical way to go about ensuring she eats healthy without angering her. And as we all keep saying, pregnancy comes with a lot of hormones. And imagine if I'm telling you that I want to eat this spicy kebab or spicy chichinga, or I want the food to be spicy. But I know my wife has PUD. I don't want to give it to her. But I know if I don't give it to her, she'll get angry. She'll flare up. Her hormones will be all over the place. How can I really go about ensuring that I'm helping her eat healthy and safeguarding my life as a husband? Yeah. So that's a
I
question to
love
help us.
yeah, I love the mention of safeguarding because you don't want to be in her bad books.
Not at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So with the cravings, sometimes once that feeling comes, trying to convince his wife would really really be very difficult. But like I said, you are a support system to her. You have to provide all the love. If you were giving her 100% love, now you have to amplify it to like 1,000,000%. So you have to really, really, you don't react in anger and start shouting when she refuses, oh, no, 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 why? Start picking a fight, it's just a crocro in love because you just have to be there for her. It's very important. So you just take your time and make sure that you just giving in and saying that okay, once my wife has requested for that, and most of the time these cravings will come up at very odd hours. I have a friend who was also sharing with me that it got to a point where his wife told him around 11 p.m. that, oh ma, I can smell some food from my neighbor's kitchen, can you go for and take some of the jollof she's preparing for me? And it was embarrassing because my friend is very very a private person. So how do you expect him to go to your neighbor with a place saying that, oh, my wife wants some of your food, can you give me? This is just some way. Those who have had pregnant neighbors will attest to that. Yes, me, I've had first hand experience with that. They can just say, oh, I feel like eating some of the food you are eating. I'm not going to eat my food, so can you give me some? Hmm. So then, if you are a husband to such a pregnant woman, what are you going to do? Are you going to be happy about it, or are you going to? So is it that the neighbor always has to make room for his pregnant neighbor, knowing that, oh, by all means, he's going to come over and say that I want some of your food. So it's just about being supportive, being understanding. For the unhealthy, spicy cravings, too much of it, you are even going to run if you are eating too much of the spicy craving, spicy foods, you are going to run, you are going to lose a lot of water in your system. So, as a supportive husband, you make sure that you take your time, explain to her that, hey, this food you are craving for, this is what's going to happen. You already have this PUD condition, so it's not going to be healthy for you. Do you want to eat and then suffer the consequences later? No, you wouldn't want to. For you yourself, you enjoy and then you suffer later. That's not going to work. And then the consequences, as you, the husband, you have to be going up and down in the hospital and all that. The complications are too many. So you make sure you have other options that she can also take. Like I was saying, you can, to help with these reduce the nauseous feelings that you have, you can add some bits of ginger to your food, or you can prepare some ginger juice. That is also very healthy, rather than you going in for the extremely spicy foods. That's not going to do. So you just have to use the acrocro method, like I'll put it, or just the TLC, tender love and care. You take your time with her. That
So
will
you
help.
heard it,
Thank you.
guys. Our prescription for this and all our lovely husbands is IV Acrocro and tablet love. A lot of Acrocro for your wife and
Yeah.
tablet's wife to go. Thank you so much, Miss Sylvia. This really has been a wonderful conversation. I've enjoyed myself. I've learned so much. I'm
Indeed.
gonna keep coming back to this video over and over again. I'm actually saving it for especially when I get pregnant because I really need to go back and then check it out again. And for you listening to me, do save this video, share with a friend. Everybody needs to know. Operation, everyone must know. If you love the session, you want to collaborate, you want to partner, you want to advertise, you can just text the phone number on your screen or email us at the email on your screen and you join us and then you support us. If you have any of the questions on your mind, any topics you'd like us to discuss in the coming months too, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And as always, we'll get you the best experts on board to answer your questions. And finally, if you want to join us at Health Plug Network, where we are committed to educating ourselves, providing opportunities to ensure we are always on top of our game, do show the signal in the comments and we'll reach out with the right link. I've enjoyed myself. I know you have too. We're just about to leave, but before we do, let's hear from our amazing speaker today with her last words for us before we leave the session. Miss Sylvia, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vanessa. It's been a wonderful experience here today, and I believe everyone has taken something from everything that I have shared. So, like I said, be an ambassador. You're a pregnant woman, a woman of reproductive age. Make sure that you're always eating right. You are exercising, you are staying hydrated. Mm. 3 to 4 liters of water a day. It's achievable. It's achievable. It does magic. It does magic. Be healthy, be happy, and be productive. Cheers and much love from me. Take care, all of you. Bye.
So you heard us, viewers. Cheers. Much love for Miss Sylvia. Much love for me. God loves you. Stay healthy. Stay plugged into good health. My name is Dr. Vanessa, and I have been your host for today. Bye bye.
Bye.